Okay. Looks like we are probably live. Still not seeing. I'm sending the video. I guess it's working. All right. Let's go ahead and send that link out as well. This is the one we want, all right. Yep. Okay. All right. Well, I guess it's working well enough. We're going to go ahead and post that link for folks, and then we will get started in earnest. Just be a moment. Let's see. Let's go here. I do wish that OBS and YouTube Studio talked together better, or I knew how to connect it so I didn't have to go to the stream to look at the chats. But it is what it is. All right. So go over here, go to live. We'll go here. And now we can see it. Perfect. All right. So, welcome back. So as you may have noticed, our game finally has a name. It is Kataklysmus or Kataklysmus. I'm not exactly sure, but it's German for cataclysm. The reason I'm using German is that the two countries in this game are vaguely based on Germany and France, and so to create some interesting difference that is sort of detectable in terms of language, I'm using German words for one and French words for the other, and also doing naming conventions that are similar. Obviously, it's a fantasy setting, so there will be some fantasy names as well. With any luck, if I can get to where I'm making more of my own visual assets, I can also create some visual differences. All right, so I've done a ton off screen since the last time I did this. So let me go ahead and walk you through some of that. I think some of it's pretty interesting. First of all, plugin-wise, we have expanded out quite a bit. I am a Patreon member for Casper Gaming, so I've got several of the alpha plugins installed. Some of them I don't have on yet. I'm going to turn them on as I use them. But new ones that I am using already would be the splash screen and the steel. The steel mechanic's really cool. I wrote my own steel plugin, which was fine, but this is much, much better. Casper has a lot more experience than I do, and it's really great to have a plugin that's so functional. And I have used the title system before, but I did do some more with it to make it more interesting. Even in development, that default title sequence can get to be pretty old. Let's see. We are also new using the Effectsier RPG Maker MZ plugin that makes the animations work better. And we are using the Ultra HUD from some random dude, which I've used before, but I'm really excited to be using it again. The Interact Pop and the Art Solid Battle Log. So I'm going to show you what each of these do. And you can find all of these simply by putting the name of the plugin into any search engine. Most of them are on RPG Maker Web. If you have a specific one you'd like to hear about, let me know. I'm happy to walk you through it. All right, so how do some of these work? I'll show a few of these off right away. So we have the community lighting plugin installed. So this tells it to you that this map uses the day-night cycle. And its default is 10 for how fast it goes. You can make it run slower or faster in terms of how fast day and night go. Let's see, what else? We have a number of the community lighting setups here. So CL is for community lighting. This is a fire, that's its intensity, that's its color. And this B15, I think, is the way in which it flickers. So I have those installed. I have lights on every light source. You'll get to see how that works here shortly. Let's see, what else? Oh, the interacts, I can show you that. So this just uses a comment, and what it does is it makes the bubble window pop up for, in this case, it'll be the exclamation point for the player when they get something near something they can interact, like Final Fantasy IX, which I think is a great way to allow people to explore but not miss things. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else new in terms of the plugin use, but we can take a look at how it actually works. Oh, and the fast travel, that's the other thing I've added recently. So that's good, and I actually need to set it to... So we're going to do that right now. Plugin command, go to our plugin menu. We're going to go to the fast travel. We're going to tell it to discover a fast travel point. And the name is going to be, we're going to say Lakeside, which is this area here. And then we're going to go over to the plugin and actually get that working real fast. And then we'll take a look at stuff. Okay, this is how you set up the points. Name. So actually we need to do... We actually need that name to be better, because I think that's going to show up. So it's Lake Oslo. Boop. There we go. Come on, there we go. Lake Oslo. You don't know it by default. It is enabled. Lake near car. And forest. There we go. Remember, consistency. I use periods. It doesn't really matter whether you use them or don't, but pick one and stick with it. Okay, we're not using that. And we are probably going to add images later, but for now it's not important. This is map 9, which you can tell from down here. And we want it to appear right here. So that is 2523. And 2 is down. Very good. Okay, so now that is all set up. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just run the program, and you can take a look at kind of what this looks like. Set starting position player, and we are going to go to our debug and grab our init game. So this is just something that I do. You certainly don't have to. I have a common event that does everything I want it to do at the beginning of the game, and then I just have a regular auto run that tells it to run that common event when the game first starts. And you just put that in your starting map. Okay, so that is good. Go back out to Carf. Yep. Door to our smithy. Or actually we can do here. Very good. And then inside our smithy we can do transfer. This is kind of a neat trick that I learned at some point, and I think it does a lot. So you make your quick event, but then you go in and you change it to same as character. So now they can walk out, as it were, instead of like you having it here where they touch it and then they start 2 in for some reason. All right. With that, do a quick play test, let you see where we're at. Give my music a pause here. So there is our Lovo, and this is using Casper's title sequence system. It's basically just, it shows a scene in the background and you can run whatever you want in that scene. So I have weather effects, flash effects. Yeah. All right, this you can see the lighting. So we have the player has a light of their own, and then there is light coming from the door and from those windows and from that fire, all of which impacts things. Pretty neat, huh? I almost left without my bandana. In this game, the Oberon will look at you and talk to you directly. That's fourth wall breaking, which I think is interesting. And it's like this. All right. One thing you'll notice, the frame rate is not fabulous in spaces with the lighting. I haven't decided whether it's worth it or not yet. I think it is, but it does have a frame rate penalty. There's no question. Okay. That's it for that. Oh, if you're interested, the way I did this was I actually made these as custom objects, and it's just half of the pots, and they're down at the bottom of their tile. So it looks like there's a space there, which I think is kind of fun. All right, out we go. Let's see our village. Down here, this is from the HUD Maker, which I think is fun. Zinni is my type of gold. Playtime, where we're at. Very nice. Walk up, knock, huh? I guess she's not home. It'll do that until she's in the party. Oh, there's a bug. Now, everyone's different. I like to fix bugs as soon as I notice them, because if I don't, I forget that they are there. So we're going to go out to Carf, and we're going to take a look. It must be that in our tile sets outside. There you are. B, I'm going to guess it's the window. Yep, there it is. Fixed. Now, it won't fix until you restart, but this way it's fixed in general. Okay, once again, you can see our light. We might actually want to add some lights in here because it's awful dark. So we might want to add a brazier. Oops, I hit F5. Ah, well, that's fine. We'll come back in just a minute. So going to our item shop, we might want to have, is it brazier, whichever. I think it would make the most sense for it to be like right here. So we'll go here. I'm going to look at all of our options. Those are quite right. Also not quite right. Feels like a lot. What I want is like a... I guess given the options, we're going to go with this guy. And we're going to go over here and grab this. We're going to set that to 351 to be pretty bright. Something like that, and then make sure that it is above the character. All right, let's try that. See how that looks. Oh, we can actually test this too. Okay, good. That's fixed now. Almost looks right. We're going to want to put like a beam or something there probably. But it does fix the light problem, which is great. Okay, there's that space. Our smithy. I'm really happy with the way that furnace came out. What do you guys think? We did some editing of base assets to get that to look that way. All right, and we'll go back over here. Okay. Same kind of lighting issue where an area that should be better lit is not well lit. So we'll see about fixing that as well. Okay. All right. We have our save point where we can teleport. Right now we only have one thing. So it brings you here. Okay, so that is that. I think we will go over to our smithy. Actually, I'm going to grab our light. Go over to our smithy. and do something similar. Okay. And we're going to go into Carf and set up, let's see. Transfer out to our world map. Here, facing left. There we go. And out on our world map, we'll do transfer into Carf. Here, facing right. Right. There you are. I think I did that backwards. I certainly did. Huh. That's funny. Left. Okay, there we go. All right, so there's that. We can now get outside. For the sake of argument, I'm just going to put us right here because, well, actually, that's fine. We'll just kind of speed run it. Ba, 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 ba. I do not like it that it started doing that. Okay. Oh, that little picture of Reed, by the way, is the splash screen working, so eventually I'll have a logo there. Since we're already here, we can take a look in here and make sure that that light's doing what we need to do, and it is. We'll figure out some kind of scaffolding for it later. Oh, can we not? We can't. All right, let's fix that while we are thinking about it. Probably this. No, no, that's below characters, as it should be. Which means it's probably... Yeah, alright. Right, that'll be fixed for next time. Alright, get out to our world map. You come into our forest. Oh, I have battles enabled. I don't want to mess with battles, but we'll just quickly... Okay. Alright. I'm gonna go through here. We are going to do it like this. We're going to go to debug. We're going to create a person here. Okay, I forget where exactly it's at. Change encounter. Disable. And then we'll actually do disable encounters. Counter keeper. I know it's a debug thing, but still. It'll be easier to keep in mind if you actually kind of do the thing. Show choices, yes, no. There we go. Bing, there's our encounter keeper. We're going to stick our encounter keeper for now at the beginning of the forest. Enter our forest. Talk to the encounter keeper. Okay, now we can run through. If you try to go south here, you will find that you cannot go through. This looks like it can be cut with something. Notice that the that's the plugin that lets you know this is clickable. So this is based on what direction you're facing. If you're facing down, it gives you that little bit of a tip. Actually, look at that. Our frame rate's really shit here too. I'm gonna have to like try disabling the light thing and see how much of a difference it makes, if at all. Okay. Once again, looks like it can be cut with something. Now, when you get over here, you will find this rock looks like it can be destroyed with a bomb. Oh, I forgot to do a comment on that. Yep, close. There we go. Use bombs in case of rock slide. Contain 2 bombs. You can go and look at your bombs. An explosive device does 150 damage to all enemies in battle and can open paths on the map. So now that we have a bomb, use bomb. Oop, I think that was on the player, not the event. So let's go ahead and fix that. No, it is on. It's just oddly not centered well. Okay. Maybe we'll make our own bomb explosion animation. That's something I've been learning to do. I made my first custom animation of this style pretty recently. I've done the old flipbook style before, but this is new. Alright, so we go into this little secret area. We can click on that axe. Oh, this is an old event. I haven't made any changes since then. Ha! So we will have to fix that, obviously. But that's alright. We now have the woodcutter's axe. An axe for chopping logs, not limbs. Because we have that, we can now... Now we have a shortcut through the woods, which is very nice. If you are the sort who cares about treasure, you can also go back and explore. Notice it's now nighttime now, which is one of the plugins doing its thing. It is so cool, but it does have an effect on that frame rate. A pretty big effect on that frame rate at times. So we'll have to decide if we think it's worth it or not. And then we have our first boss fight, the Mandingo, which we're not going to do the fight. But I do like the music I found. That is, you'll notice the kind of neat setup. That is from the Ultra HUD Maker. Let you know. It should be letting you. There we go. Now it's caught up. That's interesting that it started at 0. I guess it had to be initialized. So it's pretty neat. Gives you an idea of what you are in for. Obviously, you would not normally just have the one person. This fight right now is way not balanced. But this is just to show you how that works. And if you can have up to 4 enemies, then it'll be like 1, 2, 3, 4. So it looks pretty good. Okay. And there we go. So the only place you haven't been is the field. We'll go ahead and just do that real fast so you can see it. So here's that save point. This unlocks the other teleport, so now we can go to Lake Oslo or Karf. Boom, we're in Karf. And we're back in Lake Oslo. For some of you who are in an earlier stream, you may have seen this already, but I've streamlined it. Apparently he's not good at solving puzzles. It's not a terribly hard puzzle. This gives you a chance to see the full like setup there. So, and it's always tied to like that's one. And this one will always be, well, it actually has their name, so you can see it. Anyway, let's go ahead and speed through this. Oh, come on. Okay. Thank you. There you go. So there you have it. That is our game to date, and kind of a progress we made while I was off screen. As some of you probably know, it's represents quite a lot of work. Actually, this stuff is fun, but it is time consuming. So, all right. With that, we can do a little bit of actual development, I think, on this stream. That might be nice. So, things I noticed. Check and see if we can figure out why the Montango didn't show its health correctly at first. It wasn't. I've never seen that while I've been doing this, but I haven't been doing this plugin for very long. But no, there's no reason it shouldn't work. It's all right. What else? Fast travel setup. Oh, this guy. This guy's really messed up. Let's see. Be N2. No, it's actually supposed to be N1. There we go. That's fixed. You're good. Excuse me. Okay. That works. You're in the debug room. Good. Oh, this is another thing I did that I was really thought this was really neat. I've always done secret passages with a plugin or editing art assets. Turns out you do not have to do that in the current version. It's really great. So you set passable tiles underneath and impassable tiles underneath everything but the passage. Then on a higher layer, you put the tiles that are set to star above in the tile set, and they hide it. So just make sure you know what I'm talking about here. This is now set to star. So the way this actually ends up working is this prevents passability even though the higher tiles are passable. This hides your passage, which gives the effect of this, which is great without any plugins, without any special art. It just works. It's super nice. All right, I really don't like that frame rate. As much as I love the community lighting effects, I'm going to turn it off and see if that impacts the frame rate, because I'm thinking that that is why we're getting such a tremendous drop. Let's see. Well, maybe not. Oh, you know what? It's because we're streaming. I was like, I didn't have this problem before. It's because we're streaming. That's why. That's why. We'll just double check it, but ha. This is a mid-range laptop from 2020. It is not a powerhouse by any means, but it's never had any problems, so it caught me off guard. 60, 60, but there's that same drop to like 51, 59, 30, 40. I think that it's a little worse with the lighting package on, but I don't think it's a lot worse. I think that the cool effect is probably worth it. So, experimentation. I love the fact that you can just flick it on and off with a switch nowadays instead of having to go through and turn everything off manually. That's nice. There you are. Boop, boop. All right. So, let's go ahead and take a look at something that is pretty useful. There was something that needed to be done that, oh, the end. Okay. So this is kind of a cool feature. If you're on Windows, you can do this. I don't think it works for MV and Linux because I seem to remember it not, but it works great in Windows for either MV or MZ. If we go in our file to another project, in this case this one, and we double click directly on the game file, it's going to open a second instance of MZ. This is great because this is a project that I've basically abandoned. However, you will notice that Dallin Field is the same field and the woods is the same woods. And it's because you can just hit Control C, go to your other project, and hit Control V. There's your in. You set it to the fantasy, to your, now ideally it would be the same tile set, so you wouldn't have to do any edits at all. But we are going to have to do some edits, of course, because we're not using the same one. Let's see, what are we? Oop. Inside. So we had windows, shields. I'm half tempted to leave it because I think it's a big difference, but let's take a look and make sure. We can fix it real fast. That's not a big deal. All right, but see, it's mostly already like done, which is super nice. So we will go ahead and fill stuff in. We're going to fill in this. We're going to fill in, these bookshelves are all windows. Go. Okay. I am using MZ and MV assets together as well as the MV Trinity pack. It really increases kind of your palette if you're using default assets. You do have to do some editing, of course, sometimes. But yeah, and welcome, Tyler. Thanks for joining the stream. Here we go. Let's see here. Let's do something long. Here, we can do a clock. There we are. That looks fine. That looks fine. We are going to go here and just boop. B. Boop. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in this case, it was an MZ project, but yeah, it's a lot of the MV Trinity assets. I like that floor though, so I think I'm actually going to keep that, even though I originally had that on the little brown one. Let's see, we're going to get rid of you. Actually, I kind of like that tap, but I want to move it down one. Okay. And almost where we want it. Start in, so we'll do this. Go. Okay. So, with a little bit of editing, we are able to copy the end from the no longer used project, and I think that saves a lot of time, and I think it works really well. You can't always do it, of course, and ideally you don't have too many abandoned projects, but I think a lot of us do. So it can be a handy trick. Oops. And last but not least, a trunk on the floor. There we go. Very nice. Double check that our person here still makes sense. Yep. Okay. Okay. That looks good. All right, back to our woods. I realized I forgot something else that needed fixing about this, and that is that this needs to just be the, let me see what it, I'm gonna guess that's one of my custom assets I made. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we just need the basic. We might have to go and get it. Yeah. From Trinity into standalone to reposition beds. Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes, actually fairly often, Tyler, I will do the, say make a bed to use 3 tile slots, so that it actually kind of leans up against the wall correctly. There's a good chance I will do that at some point in this project as well. My dream is always to use custom assets, which hopefully will happen at some point. We'll see. Um, on that note, we do at least do a lot of editing of assets, so we're going to go ahead and do that real fast. So what we're going to do, and for folks who are new, this might be really helpful. We are going to go ahead and open up this project. We're going to go into tile sets. And this program is called Aspirate. I use it for everything. These are all of my edited tiles, of which there are at this point quite a few. We're also going to go open. And this is using the MB Trinity D set, the Dark Fantasy set. So we're going to go grab that. D outside B, there you are. And that's what we need right there. Just grab a hold of it, bring it over here, and stick it somewhere. It doesn't already have a spot. Make sure it's lined up. Very good. Hit save. We go to tile sets. D. We go over to here. Oh, did I just copy it in a second time? I think I did. Do I have an older? There it is. Oh, it's the way that it chopped up the tile set. Got it. Okay. So we set its passability. When we do that, it will now appear here. And what we need to do is go into our events here, 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 and here. Now that will work properly. Basically, it allows you to take the axe visually. Okay, so that's done. Think that will do. We have our inn. So the next thing is going to be to map our temple, and that's probably what we'll do until I have to close out. I have a lasagna coming out of the oven in 3 minutes, so we'll go ahead and map out. I could probably even go an extra 3 or 4, just let it crisp up a bit. So we'll go for about 9 minutes of mapping, and then that will probably be it for today. This is kind of a middle, a weeknight stream, so it's going to be quick, but I wanted to get on it since I missed my last one. I had COVID, y'all. I lost my sense of smell entirely and did not feel good, so just needed the rest. Okay, my sense of smell is back at about 50%, by the way, which you'd be surprised how good that feels after you've had 0 for a little while. All right, so we are going to be doing an inside. This is going to be called, oh my God, there we go. Thank you. Carved Temple of the Winds. and it's S Fantasy Inside, and it is all right. So I like to keep buildings somewhat proportionally. So this has one more sort of level than the smithy. So I think the smithy. So let's do like 22 by 17. We're gonna double check the size of the smithy. 20 by 15. Yeah, we'll start there. And there is an implication of an upstairs here. So we'll also try to include an upstairs. Okay. I like to just get the shape of it. This is a temple. If I had something blue, I'd go with the blue, but since I don't, maybe this. Let's see how it looks. Eh. Huh? Pardon my cough. Hmm. I do like that. That's at least got a little bit of the blue. So why don't we do that? All right. So to start us off, and obviously we're going to get more shape in here as we go. But floor, we'll do stone tile. Six, seven, eight, nine, 10. 9, 10. Okay, so it is even. Okay, so there's our box. Now from our box, we can start making it better. There's my timer, so I'll give it about 5 more minutes. Maybe we can at least get a shape in. So we're gonna have it's a temple of the wind, so ideally we will have something that implies that, some kind of fan or something. We're also gonna have water features because temples and water, it's a thing. Let's do some like reflecting pools. I like that. How do y'all do your mapping? Like, do you just kind of play with it, or do you have like an idea in mind when you go in? What tends to be true for you? I feel like elevation would do a lot for this. Maybe it's not totally elevated. Maybe it's just bloody. There we go. There we go, kind of like that. Parallel events will show animation. Yeah, yeah. Um, that's a really good idea, Tyler. I'm not sure. I guess we look and see what wind animations are by default. I'm obviously, like I said, I am learning to make my own right now in this style. I've done the flip book, but the new effects are style. So I certainly could do something with that. Let's take a wind one. Let's take a look. Because that's a really great idea. Changing the color, that wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, I think there's some things I can work with here. That's a really great idea, Tyler. Thank you. So here is the first animation I've made since we're in here. It's real simple, but it is pretty different from what it is originally based on, which is this. So I think there's a pretty significant difference. And the Effects program is way easier to use than I expected. So I think making a wind animation based somewhat on Wind 2 that's less violent, and then having that on a parallel weight that plays every so often could really spice it up. Yeah, that's great. Let's see here. I like that. I do like that. Okay. Yeah, it does. It's based on the miss sound with the pitch changed. My idea with it, my thought with it was I was trying to get the like yoink sound, like the sound of someone grabbing a bag in a cartoon. Um, so that was the goal. But you're right, it does sound a bit like a womp. Okay. Now, this is something I do not like about MV and MZ compared to something like VX, and that is there's no um, stairs that are horizontal, and I've made them so many times, and somehow I always end up losing them. So I'm going to make horizontal stairs. Actually, I'm going to take some notes because that is all stuff to do in a future stream or just as we. So we are going to create a gentle wind animation for temple. We are going to create front-facing stairs going up. Okay. And that'll go right here. Let's see. It'll be something like that, but you know, better. Excuse me. Well, that doesn't look horrible. I think with some basic changes, that could actually do the job nicely. Going to the upstairs. And let's see. One of my favorite tricks is to give the implication of depth with something like this. Symmetry is important, especially in structures like this. Okay. All right. I think that is where we're going to call it for today. Like I said, I had to go pull a lasagna out of the oven. Tyler, thanks for those great ideas. I will be implementing them, and maybe even so on stream. My main stream time is Sundays, ideally. So hopefully Sunday afternoon, sometime between 2 and 4 Pacific, I will be on for a longer stream. Thanks for checking us out today, and please do consider a like and subscribe. Again, Sunday between 2 and 4 is when I'll be signing on for a longer stream. I just had a little extra time today, and especially since I had to miss due to illness before. All right, thanks, y'all. I will talk to you later. And we'll pause.